Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are and whenever you're watching this. Sorry for this insane look. This is one of my favorite hats from Canada. Angry Birds hat. How do you like it? And it looks insane, mad, crazy, but that's the channel name. So just had a haircut yesterday, so hair's a bit messy, hence the reason I'm hiding it under the hat. Anyway, I felt I needed a haircut because the rides are back on. We have been doing some short city rides and tomorrow we're gonna go on a short breakfast ride. Yes, it's gonna be fun. Even if my friends are lazy, I'm gonna go for a ride. When you're wearing helmets, short hair is much better, easy to maintain, and hence he probably went 2 steps higher than what I wished for, but give it a few days, it'll be fine. Had a haircut yesterday and then took my Apache out for a short spin to Rochi's house. So this video is going to be about my ownership review of the TVS Apache 200R RTR Race Edition 2.0. The name's too long to remember. Anyway, let me know what you think of this video. So let's get on the ride, shall we? Hey guys, I'm here at Ratnadeep. Just came here for some small shopping because I'm heading to Rohit's house. Are pagal? ఏంది wrong route లో వచ్చి చూస్తున్నావు మళ్ళీ? Just heading to Rochi's house because we have literally nothing to do but chill these days. So me, Shriman, Suju and Rochi are catching up. Maybe a few others would join. So cool down, buddy. This is not a BMW with Brembo brakes. Even though BMW and TVS have a collaboration, the brakes are weak on this. So chill. Got some stuff because Rochi is gonna cook something interesting today. So we'll see once we head there. Okay, wait, I need to get the air checked. Usually whenever I refuel, that's when I get my tire pressure checked. A good habit to have. Anna pan chestunda? Kaam kar raha hai? We'll find some other petrol bunk to get the tire pressure checked on this, but otherwise it's been so long since I rode it that I forgot how weak these brakes are. Let's not blame it entirely on the bike because this is a 200cc bike and I'm coming from much higher capacity with much more equipped bike, so probably not fair to compare. The driving sense gaye re sab log ka, especially since the lockdown's open. So we'll have one more announcement, I think on June 1st about the lockdown. I think there will be a few more relaxations. Not sure it's a good move. The economy needs to be opened up though, so probably that's the reason they're doing this. But the concern is the cases are going up big time. As far as I'm concerned, I'm restricting my circle to just my friends, and that too very rarely. Like today we're meeting after what ages, man, and then we maintain social distance, sanitize our hands and take all the care. It was getting too much to just sit at home. We originally had a plan of heading to the showroom, to the Triumph showroom, because Shiva gave his bike for service. Sriman had some work on his bike, but then we changed the plan to Rochi's house. Hot lag raha hai, 42 degrees. I think we'll have good amount of tan today. So talking about ownership review of this bike, first of all, the main purpose that I got this bike was, at that point of time when I got this bike, I had the street wind, only the street wind, and it kind of gets warm in traffic, especially when I go to the gym in shorts or go for a run. I still have a small patch on my shin, the heat mark. So that's when I felt maybe I need a second bike just for the city, and there were so many options. But since we motorheads are used to riding bikes, I thought it's better to get a bike than a scooter, even though the scooter is more comfortable. I just wanted something slightly more punchy and powerful, and I had a budget of around 1 lakh. In that price bracket, there are two options: the Pulsar 200 NS and this one, and also there was Bajaj Dominar. But I felt Dominar is probably a bit too much for just the city, because maximum we can do in a city is 80. Yeah, it's not more than that. Pulsar just seemed a few generations older, even though I have to admit that Pulsar is the bike that I learned my riding on, and I have good memories with Pulsar. When this released, I just liked the design, looked sharp. More than anything, it has slipper clutch, which is a boon in traffic. Like super easy to ride. Slipper clutch was a big go, ABS was a big yes, so not those stupid combi braking systems or something, or only for the front tire. So those 2 points checked off the box well. And what else? The design was good, and I like the exhaust note. It's actually quite sweet for a 200cc bike. So these points convinced me to take the 200. Initially for the first 6 months I did use it quite well. I finished almost 2,500 kilometers within the first actually 3 to 6 months. But in 2019, I went to Canada, so gave this bike to my friend. So for almost 1 year anyone hardly used this bike. So that's why the Odo is still only 2,400 something. But for all my gym runs, whenever I was going to the gym in the first place, this was good. This was pretty good. At roughly 146 kilos, this is super light. The performance of this bike is not as exciting as the Pulsar. Pulsar has I think 21 horsepower, this has around 18.5 or 19 horsepower. Not that you will see the potential of it, because you need to go at a certain top speed to feel that power. So in that sense both seem pretty same. I haven't test driven the Pulsar, but Aditya and all, they rode it, so they know about that bike. This felt pretty adequate for me. More than anything, it just felt peppy. It's just quite flickable. So in that sense, the tires are actually pretty good on this. The grip level is good. One of the best parts about this bike is actually the ride. This feels more like a sports tourer than a street bike in terms of how it handles bumps. So the suspension is pretty good. Handling is decent because the suspension is not so sporty. I have plans to take this to the MMRT or the Coimbatore racetrack, do a riding school track session, get the level 1 and level 2 license done. So probably then I would know how good this handles in the corners. But ride in the city, I would give 8 out of 10 easily. Actually 9 out of 10, because for a street bike this handles pretty well. And that exhaust note, man. Ooh, sweet. So we talked about engine performance, we talked about ride, handling. Design wise, yeah, it's subjective, but if you have to compare the Pulsar 200 NS and this one, I think 8 out of 10 people would say this looks good, much better than the Pulsar. And this has a cool TFT with some interesting features. You can measure the top speed that you hit, you can measure the 0 to 60 runs, you can have a lap timer on this. So this is on the race edition version of this bike, not on all lap versions, I guess. Something fun for a city bike. And besides that, yeah, nothing guys. Let's talk about the bad points. Bad points, yeah, the braking, the front brakes especially are weak. I need to get this service done maybe in the next month or so. So that would be actually the second point that I'm not such a big fan of. It's the service interval. Service interval is almost every 4 months, and each bill costs roughly around 1,000 to 1,200, which I think is slightly on the higher side for a street bike. Yearly service bills are good. Anything more or less. Anna, mundu 25, Ankal 28. Yeah, the tire pressure seems fine. I need to double check if it was 25 and 28. Forgot about it. So yeah, the second point is the service intervals. Even though the cost is decent, you have to spend yearly almost 3,500 to 4,000 rupees for service. With the volumes that these guys have, TVS, Hero, Honda and all, it's usually crowded. They don't clean the bikes pretty well. Not a big fan of how the service is done. Can be improved quite a bit, and if you learn, you can do actually most of that at home. This feels like a microwave oven. It's what, 115? So much of hot air. But things are going to improve from Monday, apparently. Let's hope it does. See how that handled the bumps? I'm not supposed to actually stand on this because I don't think the foot pegs would hold my weight. But number 3 would be the build quality. Like most of this tank, most of the parts are plastic. I understand the cost savings involved there, but the thing with plastics, I keep hearing some sounds here. They keep coming and going away. Like there was a number plate noise that's mostly because of how the number plate was fitted. Got it rectified with a double-sided tape, but then now recently I'm hearing a different noise which comes only in big bumps. Like small speed breakers at speed, I hardly hear that. Like, can you hear that? Besides this section here, rest of the body panels are built quite well. I don't hear any rattling noises. Need to ride at least 10,000 to 15,000 kilometers to have a good opinion on that, because this is still relatively a new bike even though it hasn't been ridden much. But on a whole, probably 7 out of 10. Number 4, the fuel efficiency slightly on the lesser side in the city. I don't know if it's the fuel that I used, or typically in the city I always got around 30. I thought this should bare minimum give 35. Probably I'm expecting too much. Yeah, fuel efficiency is decent, not great, so another 7 out of 10. The longest I have ridden on this is probably for 1 hour, and in that 1 hour the seat definitely gets tiring. It's a bit too soft. Usually seats need to be a bit hard, and for a street city bike this is slightly sporty in terms of the ergonomics here. The handlebar is fine, but the foot pegs are slightly rear set, so in that sense you bend your knees quite a bit. The price of this bike when I got it on road was 1.37 lakhs for a 200cc. I thought that was high, but if you want to go check the prices now, they're around 1.45, 1.5. That's a lot for 200cc bike these days. The prices have gone up. I somehow am not convinced this is worth 1.5 lakhs now. If I got the normal clutch instead of the slipper clutch, it would have costed me 1.23 or 2.5. But I think that 12,000 was definitely worth it, because this was a city bike for me, and in traffic this is a big boon. But it doesn't have fuel injection. I had the option of either choosing fuel injection or slipper clutch, and I choose the slipper clutch because there's few advantages with fuel injection, but carbureted bikes are fine and kind of sound better than the fuel injected ones. So yeah, those are the 5 points that I'm not a big fan of. So let me know what you think of this very short and brief ownership review of my TVS Apache RTR 200 Race Edition 2.0. Such a big name. Anyway, almost here at Rochi's house. We'll catch you guys later. Bye bye.
5 hours later.
Just met Rochi, Sriman, Edwin, Suju. Didn't record anything there because we were just busy playing on the simulator and having fun. Man, the simulator was so much fun. Watch out for Sriman's vlog, next vlog. He'll probably show you some of that. I would love to do it a few more times. It's 6:21, so decided to head back home before 7 o'clock when the curfew begins. And I'm going to enjoy the rest of the ride till my home on this lovely machine, which I haven't taken out actually much. But now this is all for myself. Just take a look at that sunset, guys. Beautiful, right? I don't know how much you're able to see in the camera, but it just looks lovely in person. That's it for today's vlog. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think, and thank you for watching. Just in case you're watching this in the night time, have a good night and take care. See you in the next one. Bye bye.